So my brother is 9 years younger than me, and when he was in school, sometimes he would ask if he could skip school so he could go hunting or this or that, and my parents often said yes. And so one time I said, "Mom, what's up with that? Like, you never let me skip school." She said, "Debbie, you used to cry if I didn't have enough gas in the car to take you out the driveway to get on the bus." So that just tells you a little bit about me. Kind of nerdy that way. I love school. I love everything about it. I love learning. I love reading. And it was really a bit of a source of tension in my family because neither one of my parents graduated from high school, and my dad never learned to read. And so I think it just scared him that I liked to read and that I was smart, and he was afraid I would think he was stupid or I'd be embarrassed about him. And so it was just kind of hard. And I went to college, and I remember him saying, like, "I don't know what you want to go to college for. You know, you're just going to get married and have kids, and I'm not sure what it's for." And I was like, "Well, I'm pretty sure I'm unemployable. I took biology and chemistry in high school. I don't think I can get a job." So I went to Penn State, and in the midst of that journey, back to high school, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I applied for a few scholarships, and I got a small scholarship that when you applied, they told you if you got it or not. And then I applied for this larger scholarship that was more competitive, and you had to go and be interviewed by the school board, which was made up of all white men that wore suits, and I never spent any time around men in suits, and it was very intimidating to me. But I went and did it, and they were asking me a lot of questions about what I wanted to be, and I just kept saying I want to be a scientist because I loved chemistry and biology, and that was all I could think of. And they would say, "Well, what kind of science do you think you want to do? Like, where do you think you want to work?" And I really didn't know anything about any kind of different jobs, and so I just kept saying, "I don't know, I want to be a scientist." And so when I left the interview, I thought, I have no chance that I'm going to get that. I didn't know how to talk about what I wanted in my life. People were talking about, like, one person that was in it was a football player. Somebody else's, their parents were divorced. People were trying to figure out who seemed the most needy or whatever. And I just thought, I don't have a chance. And so they didn't announce it until graduation. And so you didn't know if you got it until then. And so I'd said to this girl sitting next to me, I'm like, "I don't know, I'm up for the scholarship. They're going to announce it. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not." So I went up to get the one scholarship I got and went back and sat down. And so eventually they got to that one. And as you might guess, I got it. And so when they said my name, I screamed and I jumped up and then I sat down and my hat fell off and I put my hat on, and then my friend next to me was like, "You have to go up and get it." And I was like, "Okay." And so I went to get it, and I could hear my dad whistling to celebrate with me, which meant so much to me. And he told me how proud he was of me. And I know that he was also afraid at the same time because I would be going away to college. And he did say out loud to me, like, "You're going to be ashamed of us." And I said, "I don't really know how I could be ashamed of you," right? And so throughout my life, I have talked to him about everything that I do is a reflection of who I am because you raised me. And so now, as he's older and he is worried about dying, and he's reflecting on his life a lot, and he says to me every time I visit, he says, "I just wonder what I could have done if I was smarter." And I've tried everything you can think of. I say, "Dad, you had a good life. You worked hard. You raised us. You loved us really hard. We had so much fun." But he's just stuck there. And I wish that there was some way that I could help him hear me whistling for him. But I don't know how to whistle, but that's my story.